Today I'll walk you through step by step how to schedule a make scenario to run on a specific day and time each week, so your automations fire exactly when you need them to without you lifting a finger. Make, formerly known as Integromat, is one of the most powerful no-code automation platforms available, and mastering its scheduling system is what separates a scenario that sits idle from one that actually runs your business on autopilot. If you find this helpful, please like and subscribe, and let's get into it. The first thing you need to do is open the scenario you want to schedule. Head over to make.com and log into your dashboard. Once you're in, look for the Scenarios tab in the left-hand navigation panel and click it. You'll see a list of all the automations you've built so far. Find the specific scenario you want to put on a weekly schedule and click to open it. It's worth taking a moment here to make sure this is actually the right scenario. Double check the name and, if you want, run it once manually to confirm everything is working correctly before you lock in a recurring schedule. There's nothing worse than setting a workflow to run every Monday morning only to find it was broken the whole time. Now, with your scenario open in the Builder canvas, direct your attention to the bottom toolbar. This is where Make tucks away one of its most important controls, the scheduling button. By default, it typically shows something like every 15 minutes or displays a small clock icon, which tells you the scenario is currently set to run on a simple repeating interval. Go ahead and click that button. A scheduling settings panel will open up, and this is where all the real configuration happens. A lot of beginners overlook this panel entirely and just leave scenarios on the default interval, which means their automation might fire at 3 in the morning when nobody is around to act on the results. So it genuinely pays to know this area well. Inside the scheduling panel, you'll see a drop-down or selector that controls the run type. By default, it's set to something like at regular intervals, which is fine for automations that need to run constantly throughout the day, but it's not what you want when you need precision timing. Click that selector and change it to days of the week or weekly, depending on how your version of Make labels it. This unlocks a whole new set of options and shifts Make's engine from a simple timer into a proper calendar-aware scheduler. Think of it as the difference between an alarm clock that rings every 15 minutes versus one you can set for a specific day and time. Far more useful for things like weekly report generation, Monday morning data syncs, or Friday end-of-week summaries. With the weekly mode selected, you can now choose exactly which day you want the scenario to run and the precise time of day. Let's say you want it to fire every Monday. Click Monday in the day selector. You can actually select multiple days if your workflow needs to run more than once a week. So if you need it on both Monday and Thursday, just tick both. Then set the hour and minute using the time fields. Be deliberate here. Think about when the data your scenario depends on will actually be ready, and when the people or systems on the receiving end will be available to act on it. A report that emails your team at 6 a.m. might reach them before they're at their desks, whereas 8 a.m. hits right as they start their morning. One of the most commonly skipped settings, and one that causes real confusion, is the time zone selector. Make sure the time zone displayed matches your own location or the location of the business process this scenario supports. Make operates on servers that use UTC by default, so if you leave the time zone unconfigured and set your runtime to 9 a.m., it may fire at 9 a.m. UTC, which could be the middle of the night in your actual time zone. Scroll down in the scheduling panel and confirm the time zone is correct. If you're building automations for clients in different time zones, always clarify which one they mean. This is one of the most common support questions in the Make community, and the fix takes about 5 seconds if you know where to look. Once your day, time, and time zone are all set exactly as you want them, click the Save button to lock in your schedule configuration. But saving alone isn't enough. There's one final step that a surprising number of people miss. Look for the activation toggle on your scenario, usually located in the same bottom toolbar area or at the top of the page. It needs to be switched to the ON position. If the toggle is off, Make will save your schedule but will never actually execute the scenario. After you flip it on, you'll typically see the scenario's status change to active, and Make will display the next scheduled runtime so you can immediately confirm it lines up with what you configured. Take a moment to verify that timestamp. It's the quickest way to catch any time zone mistake before it becomes a problem. And that's it. You've successfully scheduled your Make scenario to run on a specific day and time every single week. From here, your automation will handle itself, executing reliably in the background while you focus on everything else. If you want to build on this, consider exploring Make's more advanced scheduling options, like running a scenario only during certain date ranges, or combining a weekly trigger with filters that check whether certain conditions are met before the scenario proceeds. You can also use Make's execution history to review past runs and confirm that everything fired correctly each week. Save this video so you can come back to these steps anytime you set up a new scenario. And if you have questions or want to suggest a future tutorial topic, drop it in the comments below. We read every one.